Nadine,
Oh, right.
how are you feeling? You sound like you're suffering a bit there.
Yeah, no, I've got a cold that's coming back on.
Oh, God.
I've got a broken tooth for
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason that's split all the way down the
Oh, my
root, so
God.
I can't really do anything with it. But I've also got my biggest fear is phobia of dentists because I woke up
Yeah.
during an extraction when I was young.
Oh, God.
And so there's only one dentist that I can see and he's away till Friday, so I'm just painkillering it until
Oh, my God.
Friday. I
Yeah.
know. However, even in my diminished capacity, I have been
I'll
thinking.
make allowances for you, Dean.
even in my diminished capacity, I've been thinking about this problem.
Oh, yeah.
Right, let me just. I'm going to share my screen. Share. Here we go. Can you see my screen?
Oh, I can.
So the premise is basically this. To test this theory, I'm going to have an object here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to take one control set of vectors, which are going to be in a radius around, like so, each with the trajectory to actually go into the center and hit. And this is going to be the sample portion. Yeah?
Yes.
Right. So from this, I can maybe, but
But there's
not
straight
necessarily.
lines, Dean. There's
No,
straight
no, no,
lines.
no. Stop. Doesn't matter about whether from each one of these points here, from each one of these points that I then decide to fire these. That's not what I'm interested at the moment. I'm just interested in if it was going to hit, what would be the result? Yeah? So if these were given no forces, just based purely on trajectory going to hit, given that this has a gravitational force.
So let me just get this right. So you're only considering one body here.
Yes, at the moment.
Okay.
Then what I'm going. So these are actually fired. These each one of these vectors has velocity.
Well, it doesn't make any difference, does it? If they're pointing at the object, they're going to go straight in. Velocity doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now, my assertion is this: that if I add another gravity field here, or a body with gravity on it, that we will start to see that, and I'll highlight it in red, that this face here, or this portion of this object, is less hit than the other portion. Yeah, and
Right.
that's given this very specific control of vectors which are arranged in a circular fashion, all that would have hit this without any forces whatsoever.
Right. But these things, and hold on. But now you've introduced this other body. You've got straight lines here. What are you going to do about that?
The straight lines are going to bend all over.
Oh, right. Good. So they're actually going to be subject to the gravitational
So here we
forces.
go. Can you
Okay.
see this?
Uh-huh.
Right. So here.
Could we get the ratios right? Because that's way out in terms of
No. Yeah, the ratios are incorrect. It's not about the ratios at the moment. It's about demonstration of the principle with one. Because obviously I can vary gravitational forces as distances and velocity, and that will affect it, but it will only affect the magnitude of what we see here.
Well,
You can't
no,
deny that.
no, because the focusing effect I was describing in our previous hangout is dependent on the mass of the Earth and the speed of the asteroids.
Mm-hmm.
So they are entirely dependent on where the focus. So the focus point, for instance, of thing coming from the left, will be entirely dependent on those two factors I just described.
They are, but given varying, imagine if we treated two independent variables that we could vary, which are the Earth's gravitational magnitude and the Moon's gravitational magnitude.
And the velocity and angle. I mean, the things you've got to do, the four things you've got to deal with are, well, no, because more than that. There's the mass of the Moon, mass of the Earth, the distance between them, the velocity and angle of the asteroids. Those are your 4 or 5 variables you got there.
Yes. Now, given that we can vary those, that variance is going to. It doesn't matter what the variances are, if the influences are there, and the ratios are somewhat accurate. Like the Moon has got a half the gravitational field as a quarter of the gravitational field as the Earth. It doesn't actually matter what we do with all those variances. The probabilities are still shown in a dynamic simulation
Well, they can be dependent on those variables.
No.
So, for instance,
Wait a minute.
hold on, Dean.
Stop.
Let me make the point.
Got it.
Dean,
Hold
if
on.
you had infinitely fast asteroids,
Yes.
then it would seriously affect this. It would mean that you could ignore the gravity effects. For instance, if the asteroids were incredibly fast,
Yes.
you could ignore all the gravitational effects, so they'd just shoot in like light and hit things.
Mm-hmm.
And they travel in straight lines.
Mm-hmm.
So it absolutely is determined by the variables I've just described, the effect, the result you're going to get.
Yes, except in that case, if gravity wasn't a factor, would see that this thing hides quite a large portion of this space. So, yeah.
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah.
You would get the effect that you're looking for if the asteroids were travelling at, say, 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Anyway.
Because the gravity effect would be so small because they're travelling so quickly that the bending by these bodies would be almost negligible.
Wait a minute, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will just make... Where's my... there we go. Shape and... come on. We will have a sphere. Here we go. Can you see these spheres now? These white spheres?
I can.
You can, yeah. And I'll... No, my God. I just said, can you see these spheres here? And Siri piped up in the background. Here are some popular Britney Spears tracks. Hey Siri, stop. You stupid bitch. Right, so...
Oh, she won't take offence to that.
Well, that was actually quite ridiculous. So anyway, this is what happens to these now. Yeah? So we can see how the gravitational forces...
So I'm a bit is this... Right, so I can't quite make out where these red things are coming from. Are they all coming in a plane?
Yeah, they're all coming on a plane.
Right.
But so this is actually just demonstrating one tiny little concept. Now, it doesn't matter what I do to...
Well, hold on, how come they've all ended up going to the moon instead of landing on the Earth in this thing?
Because they came back... Well, I'll show you.
Sorry, yeah, I'm mistaken in that again.
Yeah.
Oh, right, so they're going to the moon. So, right, so
they're all aimed at the moon. That's it.
All right. Okay.
They're aimed at the moon, but the gravitational forces are actually stopping. Are actually, more affected. They're more affected by the magnitude of the Earth, basically.
So how have you programmed in these orbits? This attraction.
Gravity. It's called a Newton field. I have a magnitude. It's actually called gravity.
So you haven't had to program this as someone who's already.
Yeah, it's a Newton field. It's a physics simulation.
Oh right, it's the physics. Oh right, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But the point here is, it doesn't matter now how much I vary this. All I will do is I will vary the magnitude of what's happening here.
So in this, sorry to go back to the simulation. So it can cope with two bodies, can it? It can cope with multiple bodies.
Hundreds of gravitational fields I could have in this if I wanted.
Do the asteroids have mass as well?
No.
Okay.
They
have velocity.
Yeah, they have velocity and a friction.
A friction?
Yeah, because I need them to stick to a surface.
I see.
They're the only things that are.
So that only occurs when they actually touch.
Yeah.
So there's no friction otherwise.
Correct.
Right.
So wait a minute, I'm going to change this to a streak actually. Let's see what happens if I do this as a streak. Yeah. No, I don't want it as a streak. Yeah. So the point here, or the point that I'm trying to get across. Oh, streak. That's the one that I want. The point here of what I'm trying to get across.
I must play with the physics package on bloody Unity and
Unity will be crap because it's a game engine, but this can actually do solver simulations and stuff. So it's not the same. Unity is real time. If it isn't real time, it can't be calculated in Unity. Whereas this,
right.
I don't care whether I've got 50.
Well, is this not doing it? Well, it's not doing the same. Is it not doing real time calculations, or is it just predicting?
It is. No, it is. But I can go well beyond that. Is my point. I don't have to stick to real time. Unity is a game engine. You have to stick to real time. Here,
Indeed.
I can say, take as long as you want and just bake me the result out so I can play it back in real time. So I can do really complex things, like the ocean thing that you saw.
You're saying you can't run Unity slowly?
It's a game engine. It's meant...
but you can decide what the time interval is and just say, right, I'll change the time interval.
No. Because the time... Right, okay. So in a physics simulation package like this, timing is irrelevant. It's the accurate calculations that it's bound to. In a game engine, it doesn't give a shit. It's the amount of time it needs to get a frame to be drawn. So
right. So in other words, it's saying it's going to try and redraw a frame every 50th of a
yes,
second or
and
something.
it'll disregard results and stuff. You'll get frame drop, and you won't be able to play. It doesn't bake it out, so you won't be able to play it
but
back.
can't you increase the length of time of a frame?
No. Well, a length of a frame is a refresh cycle. You can have it on screen for a little bit, but no, it's not the same. Trust me, Rumpus.
I mean, I keep on meaning to play with Unity, but I haven't got around to it, so I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, we'll deal with it anyway. Well, if you're claiming this is this is actually doing it properly. That's good.
Oh yeah, but the point here is the difference between me and Unity is I can render this out. I could tell this to emit 50 billion particles, and it will get me a result that I can play back in real time. Unity does not do any solvers like that. Its solvers have to be real time.
Right. So yes, so I'm sure you could change the frame rate. But yeah, but I appreciate this is So this is, as you say, rendering time, but it can take as much long as it wants to get the solution. Okay, I accept that. Okay.
Now, my assertion is simply this: we can see that from this result and these unrealistic gravitational forces and speeds of meteors, that this happens. But the point is, I wanted to put this at a magnitude whereby we'd see quite a definitive effect. Now, if I alter the magnitudes of velocity and distances of these two bodies and those meteors, or these particles... Oh, look at that. Very nice formation there. If I alter that, all I'm going to do is alter the variance of, how many are caught here. I'll probably have some hitting this side as well. But this overall arc of... you get less here will always be the case. It doesn't matter that I will. That. Yeah, it does. Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't think you would, but I thought I'd show you this anyway.
Okay, it's fascinating. I'm thank you very much for showing me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, but I'm very interested. What I might do is I might create a sphere, and I might emit particles, random directions.
Well, can we
I will put these the correct distance.
Okay. Well, can we just try and this thing? Can we release some coming from the simple case? Can we just have a broad band, a line of them coming in? So a bit a bit like that, but a nice line, and coming from the sort of one coordinate side, and then another one from another coordinate side, another from another coordinate. Yes. In other words, we've got four sides to this grid here. Can we not just release? No, a wide band, not a line. So in other words, they're all there. The band is aligned alongside the side of a grid. In other words, so if you could set those up just evenly spaced along one side of the grid, and then just release them all coming at the same velocity, and then see what happens.
Oh right, yeah, kind of.
Sorry, am I not making? Yeah. So in other words, just pick one. You've got four sides of the grid. Just simply align them from one end of the grid, one side of the grid to the other, and then have them all coming in a uniform velocity. You've got them pointing at the moon. Right. You see, that wouldn't happen, of course. So that's one problem you've got.
No. I know they're not all going to be headed for the moon.
So let's have them all.
What I want to
give them all the same velocity. In other words, give them all a uniform velocity towards the other side of the grid. So start them off at one side of the grid, point them to the other side of the grid, and then see what happens. Because that would be a more realistic test of what's going to happen. Now, imagine there's an asteroid shower, and they're all coming in a similar velocity, and they're sort of uniform distributed. Obviously, you wouldn't quite get that uniform, but that would more closely reflect well, if you're going to model it, that's what you'd do. You'd have them all coming at different angles from different sides. So you could come close to that just by simply saying, so I say, so line them up along one side of the grid and then give them all the same velocity in the same direction, and then see what they do. Yeah, and you have one, let's say, one side from the Earth side. Presumably we get the same results actually from the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So possibly the only thing you need to do three actually. One on the Earth side of the grid, one on the left or the right side, and then the other, and then from the Moon side of the grid. And that would those three should hopefully give you a sort of good idea about what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let me start a new scene, and I'll do this.
I wonder. I was aware that Autodesk 3ds had a physics package.
Not brilliant. I don't think.
It's just amazing the fact they got a nice physics package in here. Gravity thing. God.
Oh yeah.
This,
Well, I'll show you. I'll show you the fields that I can create in a minute that are going to affect this thing. I have to turn off the fact that this thing simulates gravity by itself, which is a bit ridiculous as a.
what is sorry? What is grab? Ugh.
Well, so
What is
this is an emitter, but it has an inherent gravity concept within itself when you
an
create
emitter?
it.
What's an emitter? You mean thing it's giving out the?
Yeah, so it's firing
The
off particles here,
oh, I see.
and they're actually bound to a
So you,
gravity at the
right, that
moment.
was all one emitter, was it? Those particles coming from?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I see. So now I'm
So
asking for say 10 emitters. Okay. Well, I don't. Well, I don't. You can make them mass small, can't you? If you have to give them any mass at all.
Well, no, what I can do is I can simply have this like so, which is going to be a quite large emitter. But I need to turn off gravity. So gravity. Okay, we
God,
can add these to a liquid simulation.
so juicy. So juicy.
Ignore. Wait a minute. Here we go. Ignore gravity. There we go. So now they're just omnidirectional and will fly forever. So now I can give them a
So they will fly.
drag.
Sorry, I thought the emitters were stationary, aren't they?
No. What do you mean? The emitter
Well,
is the
emitters.
particles are going to have velocity when they leave
Yeah,
here in a direction.
right. So what are you talking? When you say the emitter, this is a source of. Sorry, we've got the source of the particles, and then we've got the particles. What are you talking about? What the emitter is the source of the particles, isn't it?
Yeah, this volume here is giving out the particles and things.
Right. So each particle has a particular mass or something, and.
Yeah, and I can conserve weight and all this kind of stuff. Conserve motion and all kinds of stuff. But I'm just thinking, I probably should emit these from a surface rather than a volume, because it wouldn't be a volume. So wait a minute. Yeah, you need to get into this.
Yeah, I do, Dean. I really do. This is so juicy. It's something decades I wanted to do this sort of thing. I just haven't.
I mean, yeah, that water simulation is so easy to do nowadays.
Yeah, that would be the killer.
I told you why I left.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. That doing that sort of thing would have been a major programming task.
A technical development task.
Really seriously tricky.
Yeah, but now it's just a piece of piss, and it's like, well, yeah, when you understand all of that and it's a piece of piss, it's like there's no more challenge. So it's like, what the fuck is the point? Now I want to, right?
Well, you can still produce pretty pictures and things. I mean, I keep on trying to do this video I wrote a script for about
No, I thought you were going to go about your video for refraction.
No, a movie about. I was going to emulate getting onto a spaceship and being interviewed as a person to whether you could get on a spaceship, so a rocket launch, and along with other people who want a ticket or something, and moving into a room and then being interviewed by someone. And I was going to do some clever ideas about how you can control what decisions are made, and then you get into the rocket and it takes off, and then you experience the Earth and the curve appearing, and then there's a little incident on the way up, and I got some people to do I wrote a script for it, and I got 3 or 4 people to do some of the pieces, and I just haven't got around to doing it as a movie. But it only lasts about 2 or 3 minutes, or possibly about that sort of distance. And I was going to have a little bit of drama in there and some explosions and things.
Did you see the videos that I shot?
No.
Oh, did you not? No, I'll send you these on Skype now.
I'm subscribed to your channel.
No, I didn't put these on my channel because that's not really my channel. That's just flat Earth bollocks. My actual channel's got videos with like 600,000 views and stuff.
Oh right.
Of my pet rabbit doing bunny flops in the garden. Surprisingly, is my most popular video. Which, yeah, go figure. I have actually. Wait a minute. I have actually got a video. Yeah, I did an actual experiment. Me and my friend, and we decided to record it. And this was about 15 years ago as well. And I put it on YouTube, and it's got like 80,000 views. 180,000 views. We had. I was at his place on this farm, and we had this telescopic lifter, which is a hydrostatic lifting vehicle on a farm. And then we had a Case International tractor, an old style of tractor. And we were both in the workshop, and we looked. And I says, this new hydrostatic drive I'm really impressed with, because I was helping, because I go up there to piss around with manual labour sometimes when I can't be asked doing development. And we were there, and I looked at him and I says, I reckon this thing had pulled that tractor backwards. He says, not a chance. and then we both looked at the wall of the workshop simultaneously, and there's this huge chain. And we both looked back at each other.
I can see where this is
Yeah,
going.
no,
Tug of war.
Yeah, but then we said, "Fuck it, let's record it and put it on YouTube as well." So we did. So I got that on my actual proper channel as well,
right, okay,
which is quite cool. But now I'll show you. Wait a minute, give me a second. I'll show you. I'm actually.
So, which farm? Sorry, this is a farm. Who did you say? Is this a farm or something? You were saying?
Oh yeah, my best mate's got a farm, a large farm up north. So.
You can, when you're a farmer, there's lots of fun things you can get up to, isn't there? Really, lots of space to do stuff.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I've got a firearms license, so we go shooting in his field, clay pigeons and stuff. It's,
right.
you don't have to, you've just got so much land. It's not like you're disturbing anybody, so it's quite, it's just quite cool, all of that.
Yeah.
And land is definitely a premium in our little country.
It certainly is.
And you're going to have George and Khan stopping at yours, are you?
I'm not so sure about Khan. I don't think I really want the dog here. But George did say that's what he's bringing Khan, but I'm hoping that's a joke.
No, I think he is. I think he will be. Wait a minute. I'm gonna
a dog around the place.
Yeah, it will be interesting that.
I'm not sure. I'm happy about that. He's bound to. I mean, given the fact that he just jumps up on couches and he runs amok. I don't. Not sure this is really a suitable environment.
Right. Check. Yeah. So these are two videos that I shot for a short. I did a script called Because You're Worth It. I've not actually finished it yet, but these were my. I just linked them in Skype for you to look at. They're not listed, but they are on YouTube.
Right. What's the chat on? There seem to be two women on the front of this. What's going on?
Well, the same woman, and it's called Are You Worth It? And it takes piss out of L'Oreal. So yes, pharmaceutical products and women are a big part of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, bloody
I could have had trannies if you'd have wanted.
No, thank you. It's just I've just been aware that in advertising, basically, 90% of advertising seems to be appealing to women. I thought I was expecting to see a tractor icon. That was all. There we go. Or a bunny.
No. This was when. This was when I was shooting a short that I wrote myself.
Oh right. Oh, I see. Oh right.
Yeah. And
right. So it's a script, right? I see. Okay. Right. It's a script. Right.
Yeah. It's about a woman. L'Oreal used to have that thing. Because
I do.
Worth it. I think they still do.
They still do. Yes.
Yeah. They.
It is annoying. Yes.
This shot is called Because You're Worth It. And it was where she's getting ready and she's using all these pharmaceutical products, and then she has this vision about what actually went into creating these, and I got some actual footage from PETA as well.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I'm not absolutely sure I want to see that. I don't like seeing animals in distress states.
So I
trying to make some sort of vicious social commentary here. Oh God.
Well, yeah, and then so it starts out like I shot it like an ad for makeup, but then it goes to a horror.
So did you have a model then? Did you have a real model?
Well, yeah, that was the actress.
Right, so you actually employed an actress to do this?
Well, no, I was really good at photography, and she wanted a photo shoot with me, and I gave her one for free if she'd act in this short. So there you go.
Okay.
And I did ruin a £2,500 lens shooting that as well, which I'm not really happy with. But
right, is that on a video camera or just a camera?
No, video. Well, it was a Canon L series lens. There's no such thing really. Well, there are cine lenses that have electronic components themselves, but most of the time you
got them wet, I presume.
No, actually, you have. Well, yeah, there was a downward shower shot, and you have a bayonet fitting on Canon EOS systems. It must not have clicked into it. So when I did a focus pull.
Oh God.
I turned the focus and it must have unwound the lens, and then this very heavy lens dropped from about 7 foot onto
Oh,
ceramic.
God.
Ceramic,
Oh,
yeah,
oh my God, ceramic
water,
tiles. Oh,
yeah, water,
Jesus,
yeah.
that will
So,
destroy it, yes.
yeah. Except it was also a lens, and you can look at this historically. The Canon L series 2470 was one of the best lenses that they ever produced, and they stopped making it. And mine was a perfect example of it, and one which I could never replace again. So.
Yeah, I drop things on my ceramic kitchen floor and they just destroy. They go instantly into a million pieces. Yes, I can imagine what happened there. Oh dear.
Yeah, not good at all. Right, anyway, particle trails, here we go. Rate, we'll have direction based. Oh, stop fucking gravity as well. Where are you? Gravity. Dynamics. Ignore solver gravity and solver wind. I don't know why you put... For some reason, Maya seems to think if you put a particle system in there, you must want it with all these forces already enabled, and that's just bullshit. Right, so we have
It's
10,
not think.
let's say, spread. Well, actually, we might have a variance in spread, just to vary this a little bit.
Okay.
In fact, we'll have a lot less on the rate. So here we go. They're shooting out all these things that are going. They have got a drag at the moment, which I need to get rid of.
Yes, that's certainly something we don't want.
Conserve drag 0. Mass, they're 1. That's fine. I don't know whether that's actually measured. I don't know what units that's measured in, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that will actually be quite important in terms of the effect on their what orbit they adopt.
Wait a minute. So what I want is I don't want the spread to be 0.1 because I reckon that is quit. Well, I don't know what that is. Right, there we go. So they're moving this way, and they're going in waves at the moment.
Bloody hell! That's fantastic.
So I will have.
We probably only needed one actually, one wave, but never mind.
Yeah. So sphere.
Because if they're not going to interact with one another, they're going to all do the same thing, so it won't add anything to our knowledge unless they actually interact with one another.
Right. So basically, all I do now is I'm not going to deal with the correct distances at the moment.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing to bear in mind is the moon is at 30 times the diameter of the Earth.
I scaled it, and I reckon I'm within about 10% accuracy there, to be honest.
Because that's about half the distance it should be.
Yeah, I think I'm in. Wait a minute. Let's create, make collide, and then for some reason, because now they're using the N system, I have to tell it to be a passive N cloth collider, which is a bit fucking stupid. Sometimes I quite seriously criticize Autodesk because they make stupid decisions. So now I'm bouncing shit off that, but I need it to stick because you need to stick. Yeah, your stickiness 1, friction 1. There we go. So now these things should stick. Yeah, I've got them sticking a little bit away from the surface so we can see them. Otherwise, you know, we wouldn't be able to see them. And now some forces. So all I do now, rumpus, is these are my forces. Or my solvers, basically, because they're entire physics simulations within themselves. So I've got air, drag, gravity, Newton, radial, turbulence, uniform, and vortex. And what we need is Newton.
Not gravity.
No, gravity is a single direction.
Oh, I see.
In a solved simulation, it's a single direction. So what we call mass gravity is a Newton field in this.
And these are inverse square law forces, aren't they?
Yeah, they all are. Yeah. Okay. So now, with these two forces, let me increase my frame range a little bit to 500. What I can do to these now is I can alter the attenuation and magnitude. I can also actually clamp them at max distance and all that kind of stuff. See, the problem...
What are you attenuating?
the oh yeah, they're bending now. Look at that. Nice.
I can't really see very clearly. I can have the tiny little dots here.
Sorry. Yeah, let me visualize these a little bit differently.
Yeah, we're a bit bigger.
Well, yeah, I can replace them with anything: aircraft, fish, fucking.
No. We'll have spheres. We'll have little, just make them a bit bigger so I can see what the hell's going on.
I know. Calm down. Right, where are we? Collisions, particle, lifespan. Oh, I don't want. Yeah, lifespan can be 3 actually. I don't need. Output mesh. No, where's shading, points, spheres.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Can even depth sort them if I want. We'll change them to be a little bit red and.
God.
What else? I should be able to vary their size. I can't remember how.
Well, that's a pretty good size. It could have been a little bit smaller, but it'll do.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got them dying at the moment, which is not a good thing if we want to
Spot see where they all are, yeah. Well, we only need the one. We don't need multiple waves. We don't just need the one, really. So that might reduce the on-screen stuff.
Fair enough. When what I will have is I will have them emitting. Where's the emission rate? It's on.
Fantastic. Not to say emit more. It's just this would be such a major programming task. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. No, it's honestly, this kind of shit is pretty special.
This is, yeah. I mean, when you see what you can do, I mean, there's a Unity demo that I saw that looked like make a Hollywood film where this thing was putting on a suit, or it was like some scene. I can't remember. Something was it like that scene in Hellraiser where something created, some robot creates itself in some room and then puts on a suit of armor and goes out and shoots some things that are coming to this prison or something. It's just the most amazing thing ever. It looks like a Hollywood film, and it's just done. I think it was done real time. I mean, just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, just beyond my. I didn't think anything like that would exist for 50 years.
Well, now we have real-time ray tracing in graphics cards.
What the hell is going on with the world?
Oh, friction can't be very good on that because the moon just lost one of its fucking asteroids to the Earth.
Oh, did it? It slipped off.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, friction and stickiness is 1 and 1, but this little bastard. Look at that.
It's off.
The Earth is going to have this one. Jesus.
That's just fantastic. God, you could play with this for hours. Well, of course, there are physics simulation things which I keep on meaning to play with, and playing with gas and things, molecules on these and pistons and things, and
yeah. So what they're doing now, it's not actually. I don't know why it's not sticking to this. This is a bit weird. I'll make this body a little bit bigger and just see if it's just.
Have you increased its mass, or you just made it bigger?
Yeah, I just made it bigger, but the Newton field
it's the mass
inside it.
It's the mass that's important.
Attenuation of 1 will be the inverse square fall off.
Right.
So it's kind of a modifier for that.
Okay. I thought you have found a frictionary slider. Why can't you up the friction with it just up in the slider?
No, because friction of 1 is max. Bounce is 0. So,
oh right.
Yeah, there's something a little bit weird going on with these.
But you didn't. But hold on. But you didn't have this problem before. So how come the problem didn't exist in your previous simulation? Because they stuck to the moon and they didn't start shooting off towards the Earth. You haven't changed the relative masses of the moon and Earth in your simulation, have you? So why didn't you have the problem before?
I don't know. I actually don't know why they're actually doing that. Oh, hang about. These are going to come back now, I think, if we left them. Oh, yep.
Yeah, they're slowing down. They're slowing down. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have fun with this.
I would have tremendous fun. Oh, you launched it. Oh, you started it again, did you?
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. Is it doing different things each time?
No.
I don't.
No. Unless I change the input seed to be random.
Right.
Although, oddly enough, it doesn't cache it. It works it out real time every single time, but the result will be identical every time unless I have a different input seed. And that's what you'd expect. Really.
Well, it's not. It's not identical, you see.
It is. It should be.
No, it's not. There are no red blobs this time on the moon.
Wait a minute. Right there.
It's not being. That's
so
what I thought.
Look at this. Look at this. 2 of them came off.
Yeah, but the last time it was only 1.
Wait a minute.
So
wait a minute.
It's not going to do the same thing. There you go.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, maybe you're right then. Maybe. You see, they added this N system for the dynamics. I stopped using it before this N system came in, so now maybe each time is random. It never used to be without the... It's called the nucleus... is it? Does it stand for nucleus? Nucleus simulation system.
Oh, did you decide on a random spread? Is that where this is all coming from? They're not coming in a straight... So possibly it's the random choice of spread that's starting things off in a different way.
I'm still getting those two. Oh, when I restart it. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, right, okay. Interesting. Oddly enough, if I restart it, it produces the same result. We'll get 2 that come off and 2 that stick to the Earth in exactly the same place that they will always stick. So if I was to restart this now, those same 2 would come off and stick there.
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not.
Fuck. Okay, now I'm going to stop speculating on what the fuck this is doing now. Jesus.
But hold on, I still don't understand the fundamental problem is that you definitely did not have the things on the moon being dragged off by the Earth. You had some setup that didn't, and yet we've got an identical setup here in terms of when they finally rested on the moon, because you haven't changed the mass of the moon, I don't think, have you? And it's now it's.
Oh no, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Yes, no, I know why this is happening as well.
Good.
So it's actually happening because I need to write an expression to on collisions stop any dynamic forces.
Right.
So that's what I did previously, I think.
Oh, I see.
Because you can get on collision events for each per particle.
Wow.
So it's per particle.
Right, so they actually bounce around and off you. They're fantastic. Jesus Christ. Amazing.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to set it up when I'm a little bit better.
Yeah. It's fantastic what you've shown me anyway.
But I'll show you this actually. So this is the water simulation.
Right.
Wait a minute, let me open. Yeah, here we go.
Right, and so this water simulation has a grid of 10 or something, and then you decide properties of that grid, do you?
Yeah. So, well, basically, this is the actual simulation mesh. But this mesh is only a visualization of the simulation. It is not the thing that it's using to simulate it. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
But when you actually look at the simulation itself, if I just press play and make sure that it's frame. Oh no, wait a minute. I'll frame lock it. Stop. Frame rate. No. See, the problem is, and this is actually the game problem. The playback speed. The thing in a game is it's aiming for frame rate and it's cycles per frame rate, whereas I can say play every frame.
Yeah.
I don't care what the fucking frame rate is. But here you can see how the water's actually acting.
Wow. How the hell? I mean, that is major work doing that. A clever mathematical guy had to do a lot of work
Many
there.
clever mathematical guys.
That's possibly true. Yes.
Yes.
Possibly. Well, you never know. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if one person was doing the maths behind this. Some clever. You might be able to go and get a programmer to say this is what you need to do, and then. God, yes, I'm not. Yeah, I would have to. I would have to spend several weeks working how to do this.
Yeah, there's actually 2 simulations at play here as well that are actually on top of each other.
Oh right.
To do this, so if I go to the boss editor, I should have anyway to get it like this. This is better than the one I showed on the Hangout, by the way. And the reason why I have 2 is I get it to generate this simulation. I bake the simulation properties to data that I can then apply to larger geometries and tessellate those geometries based on the simulation, so that then I can have an entire ocean if I want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's two simulations that are running here. Oh, actually, and these should be cached. Oh, it's because the geometry is quite yeah. So if I go here quickly and say I only have it 100 by 100, I'll be able to, we'll be able to play this back, and you can see the motion, as it is, because this is a cached simulation now, so it's not doing any kind of compute on the solvers.
Yeah.
I only had it up there because because it was for rendering out. But yes, some of the attributes though. The one thing it can't do, I think on this one I've actually got foam. Wait a minute, let's just see. Yeah, but this foam is not a simulation. This foam is an injected kind of cusp thing. Let's just have a look at this. Yeah. So this foam isn't actually simulated foam. I can have simulated foam, but it takes a long time to calculate the simulated foam. Whereas I can have approximations that out of the surface undulation generate approximations of what the foam might plausibly be like, and that's what this is. It's not actual physics. It's not solved foam from a solver that's done this. It's approximations based on surface undulation. So yeah, but this is
awesome. Yes, it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, my lovely little water. And if I turn off, like I say, the brilliant things about this are if I turn off the actual caches, which is what I've just done, and I give one of these are the input parameters on it. I've got things like wind speed.
Yeah.
I've got fetch distance, which is the you can get these from meteorological.
Yeah, it's how long that wind travels in a straight line.
And you can get these settings actually that correspond perfectly to the storm scale. I forget. You can find it on maritime charts and stuff.
Right. So the info they give you about storms, you can actually feed those as parameters into this. Excellent.
Yeah. So let's say wind speed of 20 meters per second.
What about swell? Can you have a swell as well?
Well, you have multiple. Well, this is what the wind is doing. All you do is give it the wind. It works out the swells and the sub waves from that.
Right, I see. Okay.
So it makes it, and I've got gravity here as well, which is quite cool. 9.8. There we go. Ocean depth.
You can emulate what's going on Titan in a methane warp sea.
Yeah. So if you want to know, so what's gravity on Titan then?
I think it's the same. I think it's the same size as the moon. So it's 1/6 of the moon. 1/6 of Earth's gravity.
3 point.
Yeah, do that. Yeah,
4. I think. Yeah.
Make it 2.
Oh Jesus.
2.
Oh yeah, of course it is. I was gonna say, why has it done this? And it's just like the water's all fucking a hell of a lot higher now, and a hell of a lot more, I don't know, viscous.
Angular.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't quite understand what's going on there.
Well, yeah, it's just.
I see. I can see it. I can see the right. It's clear from the render at the top. Right, it's not so clear from the surface at the bottom.
Yeah. So let me take the wind down. So this is the surface with a magnitude of 3.4 as opposed to 9.8, which would be a lot. Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow. Yeah, once you've done it, you can start playing with everything. That's the marvelous thing about simulations, isn't it? God, once you've got, Jesus Christ, this is amazing. Ooh, I really must get on that bloody physics package in my Autodesk 3DS going.
It doesn't compare to this, trust me.
Oh,
the other
no.
the other thing that I can do with this as well is I can add layers of these simulations into what's called the Bifrost system, which is what this is, and it allows me to have collisions. I can actually calculate buoyancy and have buoyant objects there that
Oh my God.
that act correctly.
Jesus Christ.
And in fact, actually, Rumpus, you'll find this interesting. Even in
So that boat, you could have that boat jiggling up and down with the waves, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't, because I could mimic it a lot faster and easier, and than there'd be no reason to do that really. But I could do Anthony's egg experiment.
Yes, I'm not saying there's any reason to do it, but I'm just saying you can have.
Oh God, yeah. Of course I could do that.
But I'm just saying you could have the ship bobbling around, presumably if you get the buoyancy right, it will actually reflect what the waves are doing, and you'd have it sort of. I mean, would it actually have a bow wave and things?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So you have to collide. You said it could do right. So it could collide with the bow of the boat.
Yes.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ! Well, that's a full-blown simulation there, isn't there? Jesus. It's saying collisions. Yes. God. What the hell?
But don't forget, Rumpus, this isn't meant for doing this. This is meant for entertainment. Imagine the shit that you can do with crap that's meant for doing this. This is not something that a data scientist would use to analyse anything.
Agreed. Agreed, yes. Yes, and it's not a perfect physics simulation, it's an approximation just to get the damn thing to look vague. But even to have something that's on the entertainment level that's actually it produces semi-realistic waves, or even has a go at trying to show bow waves, is just amazing. Even if it's not physically, even if it's only 50% physically correct, that's still amazing.
Yeah. So let's have a look at this, shall we?
Oh my God, that looks amazing! But it is. I mean, it's already doing a swirling, pouring water into something here. If that's remotely correct, that's still amazing. It must have some reasonably good physics to give you. Well, it's a physics package, isn't it? But yes, and obviously someone who's a scientist or something is not going to use it for simulation. But
yeah. So this thing should actually pour.
Oh my God.
Correctly.
Oh my God.
Into it. Let's see.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. It is taxing my 24 threads here. Jesus.
I'm not surprised. That is just so complicated.
Oh yeah.
Fluid dynamics is just such a thing.
Oh yeah, and you get surface tension as well. So.
Oh right. Yeah. You'd have to really.
Oh yeah, because this is coming down now. I don't know whether you can see it.
Nope.
At the top.
Oh yes, I saw some movement.
Yeah, it's calculating it per frame. But I mean, it would take, in doing stuff like this, all you'd do is you'd alter input variances, and then you'd tell the solver to calculate it. It'd take 10 minutes to calculate it. You'd come back and then be able to look at it real time.
Yeah.
Whereas playing it real time like this is, not
demanding.
Yeah. Oh yes. Like I say, my machine here is not a slouch computational wise, and it is flummoxed by attempting to do this.
How many cores have you got?
12.
Okay, that's quite good.
It's an old machine as well.
That's not bad.
Xeon cores as well, not shitty little consumer ones.
Right.
But yeah, some of the examples that are actually here are pretty stunning. But